For those of you who are watching what's been going on in the Tennessee legislature and feeling that you want to do something even if you are not a resident of the state of Tennessee, I wanted to point out something that we can all be doing right now that might actually make an impact. So I'm not going to go through all of the statutes that Republicans in the majority in the Tennessee legislature are likely violating. I just wanted to point out that these laws, at least from top of mind, seem to come into play in their discriminatory behavior that seems to be targeting either specific members of a political party, or what we all presume is actually happening is they are trying to target their constituents because their constituents happen to be part of specific protected classes, actually, that the other members, the majority party of that government, does not want to listen to. So what you can do about this, I want you to Google Complaints, Civil Rights, Department of Justice, or DOJ, and that's going to take you to this link here, and the one I've highlighted is the one you want to click on because that will immediately take you to a report that you can fill out, even if you're not a resident of the state of Tennessee, a complaint that you can fill out and send to the Department of Justice. And don't worry, you don't even have to fill in any of your personal details, your name, your number. You don't have to give them any contact information in order to file this civil rights complaint. And what you want to be doing here is making the case. You want to say, I think it violates voters' rights in this way or some other rights in this way, and you want to ask them to intervene. And a lot of people perhaps don't realize this, but the federal government, the president, has a significant amount of power to intervene when state legislatures are violating constitutional rights guaranteed to individuals of the United States. But President Biden might be a little reticent to execute any of these powers that he has, unless we put enough pressure on him. So what can the federal government do? Well, first of all, the Department of Justice can begin a process of investigation, and this will start setting up the evidence they're going to need if they're going to take the matter to court. And if they do find evidence of discriminatory behavior, that's when they can take them to court or even file an immediate injunction to stop whatever's happening. The federal government can also put pressure on state legislatures by withholding federal funding, and every single state receives some sort of federal funding, whether that be for education or for transportation. So if the federal government, for example, this happened with alcohol, when the federal government wanted to raise the alcohol minimum age of purchasing to 21, they threatened the states who were lagging behind with cutting off their federal transportation funding. And guess what? Now every state has a minimum age of 21. But the other thing that can happen immediately, and I think should be happening already right now, is that we need to ask the Department of Justice, Biden, your own state lawmakers, to send in and appoint federal observers. And normally we think of federal observers only being present for actual elections in states or jurisdictions where there's a lot of voter rights discrimination happening, but they can send them in here too, and they can observe and monitor the proceedings of the legislature, documenting any forms of discrimination for later use. So hop to it only takes a minute.